First item is approval of the agenda. We have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
My second. Motion passes. Agenda approved.
Great.
All right. So public comment? No, nothing. Staff report.
Okay, so first, we get to the good stuff. It's January, New Year. We wanted to first start and introduce Micah Ariel James, who has been with us since November 1st. She's the first ever Outreach and Equity Coordinator for the City of North Liberty. We're really excited. As you folks know, this is a position we've been working on developing and advocating for a couple of years. It was approved in the last budget cycle. And we were able to, I think we had a really good process for our search and our hiring. And I think I'm really excited that Micah came on board. And I wanted to make sure that Micah had a chance to meet you folks and introduce herself and talk a little bit about where her background and what she's working on and what she's excited about. Does that sound legit?
Sounds good.
Awesome.
So you might have to guide me through those
Okay.
questions as I go through. But yes, hello everybody. I am Micah, and I'm very excited to be here. So yes, it has been just over 2 months, and prior to this, I was working at Hancher Auditorium, most recently as the Associate Director of Outreach of Education and Community Engagement, and spending most of the last 6 years in this community, helping artists to connect with the community and helping the community connect with each other through the arts. And so this has felt like a sort of natural kind of evolution of the work that I was doing, with kind of a deeper focus on strengthening communities, making those communities more welcoming, more accessible, and inviting folks to better support each other. And so I see that being a core part of the work that I'll be doing in this role. And I don't know what the other items.
So are there, you sort of broadly talked about things that you're excited about. Are there specific projects that you're excited about and that you're working on?
Absolutely, yes. So one that I've been talking about for a bit that excited me from the time of applying for this position is the Youth Council. So there is a plan. The City Council said that there should be a Youth Council, and so I am working on developing what that would look like, with the knowing that I have the time to kind of build a quality foundation for it, so that by the time it starts, it is something that can be sustained. So that involves talking to youth and talking to people who work with youth, and sort of getting a sense of what are the things that are important to youth right now. Starting in November, it's sort of a tricky time of accessing youth and the people who work with them, but that'll really be a huge project for this winter and this spring, with the hope of launching that program in this fall. Yeah, it is 2022, right? I keep going so fall 2022. So that's a big one. Another thing that I have been thinking a lot about already is kind of taking a look at what the City of North Liberty has said as it relates to justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, sort of those public-facing conversations, because I think a huge part of my role will be, holding us accountable. What did we say? What progress have we made on those things? What did we say and forget about? Because that happens, it's natural. But where can we go to pick that back up? That sort of thing. And then, so I'll mention a third one here. A thing that I have been thinking about, in terms of helping to make the community center itself more accessible, is kind of focusing on, I guess it's maybe 5 or 6 kind of elements of how to make the community center more welcoming. So thinking about things like financial aid. What are the financial assistance programs that are being offered currently? Communications. What do people need to know? What do people not know about what programs are being offered, or how to access them? Thinking about things like policies. Are there policies that make the community center not feel accessible, either in the policy itself or the way that the the policy is enforced. So kind of taking a step back and looking broadly at what's going on there. Also, accessibility. So what are the things that we're doing currently? What can we be doing better? So yeah, those are some of my thoughts early into this role.
As I say repeatedly, equity, diversity, inclusion, justice, that's everybody's job. But we need somebody whose job it is to remind us that that's everybody's job. And again, that accountability piece. So
Yep.
we've got that. So Mike is bringing us some capacity to do that, which is exciting, and some skills to do that too. So we're super excited.
Yeah. Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to
Thank
excited
you.
to work with you too on, because I'm guessing we'll
Yeah.
have a lot of
Absolutely.
interaction.
Yeah.
So what about can we ask questions?
Absolutely, please do.
Your family life, I mean, are you married? And
I am.
children?
Yes.
You have children?
No children.
Not yet?
No. Nope.
And you're going to live here in North Liberty, or you living in Iowa City? Or?
No, so I've been in the Johnson County community since 2011. I live right at the edge of Coralville, North Liberty. Yeah.
Cool.
So steeped in our community, which is great,
Yep.
has relationships to leverage, which is great, and hopefully here for a long time.
Yeah.
We can make it happy and engaged. That's important for us.
Great. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
So just a few other things that we sort of touched on both as a staff in the last month and looking forward. We're working with our planning department on a big comprehensive plan update. The comprehensive plan here in Iowa it's not, I'm going to get into the weeds. So let me step back before I do that. Comprehensive plan is a planning document that sort of talks big picture, sort of what are things we need, how are we using land, where should different types of uses go, what are the things that contribute to making North Liberty a great place to live, a great place to work, a great place to play. Our last comp plan is about 9 years old. And this is a document that, particularly as we annex and move west, right? We've got a giant healthcare facility that's being built, and that's going to change a lot of what North Liberty is. We've got a new interchange that's going to really change a lot of the west side of North Liberty. So this is an opportunity for us to gather a lot of public feedback. And it's going to be about a year-long process to put together this new vision, looking forward to 2040. So it's the sort of thing. It's about a 20-year time horizon, really talking about big picture ideas, right? So we can talk about transit and transportation. We can talk about downtowns and commerce and parks and these kinds of exciting things that make that are a really important part of North Liberty. So if folks go to northlibertyiowa.org/connected-to-tomorrow, it's all one word. That's where you can find the project website. There right now, there's a survey that you can take there. And there's also a place where you can go in and it's a map of town, and you can just go and add ideas and concerns of any level, right? That you might mention some smaller things, but you might look at some really big picture ideas like, hey, this would be a great place for a walkable commercial district, or I'd really love to see a train, or I'd really like to see an outdoor entertainment venue. Those kinds of ideas, really big picture is really great too. And again, there'll be some engagement opportunities on the 19th in the evening. The consultants are holding their first round table at 6. I want to say it's at 6 at the library. Everybody's welcome. It should last no more than an hour to sort of talk and engage. But there will be other opportunities. They'll come to beat the bidder and other things down over the course of the year. So we're helping make sure that folks know about that too. Beat the Bidder, which I just mentioned, is coming up. So Jillian's been spending a lot of time figuring out Beat the Bidder and how to. So obviously, We're gonna have to do. We're planning some adaptations this year. For example, some of the indoor adult events we're not going to host because we can't suggest that they're safe, and we can't. There's not a lot of mitigation that we're allowed to require. So we're hoping that if the CDC allows vaccinated folks to go unmasked, then we'll be able to hold some of those events. If they're not, we've got other plans. Fire and Ice will happen on the 30th. That's fireworks and horse carriage rides and other fun stuff. And folks can go to beatthebitter.com to see everything that's there. We're also working on taking the lessons that we learned from the summer slate of activities of 2021 and expanding that over the course of a whole year. And we're calling it City Slate. So we have 10 local businesses that are sponsoring us, and it'll incorporate a bunch of new and enhanced current events that we currently do. So they'll all be free. Some of them might require some registration just so we can track numbers, but we'll start to announce those this month, and those will have events throughout the whole year. We're also in the thick of budget season. So in a couple weeks, we'll present the budget to City Council. We don't have any real big asks this year. We are asking for some additional funding for those community engagement events, but that's the largest change for us. Let's see, and so this is the 22nd month or 20th month of talking about COVID. That's still part of our messaging. That's still part of our planning, and we're hopeful. I think we've got a tough few weeks ahead of us, but we're still making sure people go and get vaccinated, that they are safe and mask in public, and stay home and test when they're sick. So we're trying to amplify those messages and encourage those both in our programming and in our other messaging as well. This is the first year as well that the city is observing Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We switched some of this city holidays around, so that will be coming up. Micah has been working with the library staff to implement the name is a story and an active service coming up on the Sunday, the 16th.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Mhm.
What's the time?
It is 2:30 to 4.
2:30 to 4. So the folks can come in all ages, come for a story time at the library, and then put together hygiene kits that'll be distributed through the pantry and through Journey Above Poverty. So that's an exciting way to get kids involved. And there's countywide collaboration on that with the university and neighborhood centers and a few other organizations, right?
Correct.
I think those are our big picture things that are coming up and that we just got done. Obviously, the holidays, sort of folks were off, and I hope they all have a good one. I took a few days off, which was nice. So we're a little bit lower capacity, but it was nice. I'm happy to answer any questions you folks might have about what we've been up to.
I do have a question. Just I don't think we've talked about for a little while the podcast.
Yeah.
If you feel that that's still going strong, or if it's going to need a new direction.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talk about when we look at that list, it always looks like it's going down, and some of that is that those newer ones haven't been downloaded as much, but they're all built to have a long tail to be evergreen, and so I think we see those older ones every month. We see those numbers sort of all tick up as they get later. I think we figured out how to reduce the amount of staff time that goes into it. Derek's gotten pretty handy at doing them. So we used to rotate through everybody who's hosting them. Now Derek does them. And I think he's got a good formula for taking care of them and can take care of them pretty quickly. So I think us doing them is a nice way to highlight what folks are doing here in North Liberty. And I feel pretty good about the staff, the cost opportunity there.
Do you think it's getting to a point where maybe could look at repeat?
Yeah, so we've I think 64 episodes, which is pretty great. And I think we're at a point where if we need to, we can start pulling back in some of those older ones, and as well as doing new ones just to sort of fill them out. We are also planning to start this year Since we already record, for example, city council meetings, we're going to start putting out audio-only versions of those so that people can download and listen maybe a little bit more easily than having to watch them on YouTube. The visual part of a council meeting is not super critical, as you might imagine, but that makes it maybe make it a little more accessible to folks as well. I know I personally will listen to it.
Any other questions? Moving to old business. No old business. Any new business? Have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
Motion passes. We're adjourned.
Thank you, folks.
Thanks, everybody.